So it's Danny Flexen here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by former world champion Anthony Crolla. Anthony, how you doing, mate?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good. I'm just in sunny South Wales training the fighters. But yeah, no, all good.
So you're in sunny South Wales. You're here with us via freebets.com, of course. Not the
Yeah.
best week of your coaching career, I'm assuming last week.
No, no, without doubt, mate. The worst night. Those nights happen. We all have off nights, don't we? And obviously, Rhiannon Dixon had an off night that night. Listen, I don't want to discredit Terri Harper there. She boxed very disciplined. So first of all, well done to her and the team. But yeah, no, an absolute sickener. But that happens in boxing. Do you know what I mean? You could look at a few things like experience coming into it and stuff. And listen, it's a phenomenal ride that Rhiannon's had to get to where she has in a short space of time. But no, of course, it doesn't take away the disappointment, mate. Yeah, so it took a bit to get over, and it will still will do. But again, mate, it's the game that we're in, isn't it? So all we can do now is work hard as a team and look at getting a world title back.
Is that part of the reason why you've took the fighters off to South Wales? Bit of a change of scenery?
No, it was, you know what it was? The Croft twins who a coach. They was there and they'd where they are, like where they live on the farm, there was they've got the cottage and they'd gone on about it for a bit. So it was it probably was perfect time, but it's something that we'd always thought about anyway. So it wasn't like, oh, I've had out of the office, let's just get away because no, straight back in the gym Monday morning with them all. But yeah, a few days down here and a bit of a change of scenery, a few beach runs and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm literally just gonna do the rest and see here now.
Now, I looked at your column earlier that will be going live soon on freebets.com and on the Seconds Out
Yeah,
website. And you're kind of previewing this weekend's show in Liverpool, headlined by Nick Ball against Ronnie Rios. You said in there
yeah,
that Nick Ball may be the best fighter in Britain right now. I'm guessing you mean in terms of form.
yeah. In form, yeah, and I think there's he's got a very strong playing for that. Dan, your boxing, and there's only a very few you could put there, with him, isn't there? I think the last fight Raymond Ford was genuine world class, and he won a close fight there. The deserved. It was very close, but a class fighter. Nick, I thought he's done enough to win, got the decision. Unlike the time before, I thought he was very unlucky not to get the decision against another world class opponent in
Ray
I think
Vargas.
Vargas. So I think when you look at those two wins, you could argue who's got who's got better form than that recently of a British fighter, and I think you'd probably struggle.
I think the only other one that would come to mind would be Daniel Dubois, mainly because of
Totally,
how
yeah,
big the recent one was.
absolutely with Hergovic before that Miller. Yeah, that's what I mean. But away from Daniel Dubois, yeah, you absolutely would. So yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. I just see him being a bit too strong for Nick Ball. Nick Ball being a bit too strong for Ronnie Rios. Um, Especially if Rios does what he says and meets him in the centre of the ring. And I think what it is though, just for Nick Ball, you look at him and you think, oh, this little tank. What he's got very fast hands. He got a much better boxing IQ than giving credit for. He's got a superb engine, and I just see him overwhelming Rios, maybe for a sort of second half stoppage.
Now, Nick Ball kind of threw his hat in the ring a couple of months ago now for a potential fight with Naoya Inoue should the Japanese superstar move up to featherweight, which I think most people expect him to at some point. He's already undisputed at two weight, so why not move up and try it again at a third? How do you kind of size that one
Why?
up?
Why not? Why not? Then I know Inoue is the monster, as they say, but I think Nick Ball's got the perfect kind of attitude and mentality to be fighting someone like Inoue. And listen, Inoue, as special as he is, and I do believe he's a special fighter, he can't keep moving up and doing what he's been doing at the lower weights. It catches up to him in the end. And even I think even last time against TJ Doheny, he was a very good fighter. Did he look as ruthless as what he'd looked in previous fights, in previous weights? No, he probably didn't. And in Nick Ball, all right, Nick might not be tough, but he's fighting a very strong featherweight. So why wouldn't he? Nick's one of the very best featherweights in the world. Some people would see him as the best featherweight in the world. Why wouldn't he and why shouldn't he throw himself in the hat? It's not like he's just throwing it out there or a wild, lottery ticket. He's a world champion. He's a world champion beating world class fighters. And knew he's talking about moving up in weight. of course, he's got as strong of a claim as anyone to get that fight.
Now, we talked about Daniel Dubois there in passing. Eddie Hearn confirmed earlier this week that Anthony Joshua will be carrying on. He won't be retiring. Do you feel that it's a good idea for him to take an immediate rematch with Dubois?
Do you know what, Danny? It's really hard because for the fight, being honest, for other than I said this numerous times now, for other than the 5-10 seconds before the stoppage, it was a one-sided fight. It was a one-sided fight, and we can't say any other. And then you think at AJ's career, I saw a few people saying it, and at first I thought, that's madness, but then I thought it probably makes sense for him. If he is going to carry on, once world champion again, it probably makes sense to jump straight back in because has AJ got time to rebuild? Has he got time to rebuild? I'm not saying he's old for an heavyweight, but it'll take another 12 months, 18 months before then challenging Dubois. It's a tough one to say that, mate. It really is. And then I don't know, does Dubois hold on to the titles? If listen, he looked fantastic last time out. Does he try to go for the Usyk pure? It's so hard. So you know what? I think there's a lot of pros and cons, but I also think Dubois is getting better. So I think it probably is the right time, really push for it. Do I think it's the ideal fight for him? No, absolutely not. But if you are going to fight him again, I'd probably say it's out because I think Dubois is getting better.
So the message to AJ really is fight Dubois now, because in a year or two's time, it could
It'd
be
be an
a
even harder
even
task.
tougher task.
That's just my opinion. Yeah, that's just my opinion.
And I wanted to ask you as well, since that defeat suffered by AJ, there's been a lot of critics kind of having a go at Ben Davison and the corner
Yeah,
team. Maybe people that have never liked Ben are using this as like a stick to beat him with. We saw the same thing when Tyson Fury lost to Usyk. People were
of
criticising
course.
the corner there as well. You've just suffered a defeat, obviously, with
Yeah.
Rhiannon. You may get critics. We'll wait and see. Hopefully not,
Well,
because you're a nice guy. But as a coach, if you've done everything you can in camp and everything's gone well, and then they don't reproduce that on the night, how do you kind of come to terms with that?
it's hard, isn't it? And listen, obviously, I'm still trying to come to terms with it. And it's one of them but I'm a believer in listen, we win as a team and we lose as a team. Like when everyone what was saying to me, oh, it's amazing, Rhiannon, she's come from this white collar in such a short time. She's a world champion. So I'd be taking the plaudits, but now if someone does have a pop, I've got to take them as well. That's part of the game, probably just like Ben when it's mad Ben and the team there. And listen, I think they've done fantastic things for a lot of the fighters who've gone there. There was, just before the Joshua fight, that was the best thing since sliced bread. Now everyone's slaughtering them. That's the way the world works. People can say it's fickle, but that's how it works, really. So yeah, it's you've got to take that criticism. Listen, do I believe Ben and the team told Anthony Joshua to come out with that low lead and to be fighting a bit macho-y, to be fighting on emotions with the beating of the chest when he got hurt? No, I don't believe that. So, I'm sure he will do. AJ's got to take that responsibility. Probably like there were certain shots and certain punches we worked on in camp with Rhiannon, but didn't get carried out. But still, all in all, I'm a big believer in listen. The head trainer takes the praise when a fighter does well. So then it's up for it's down to the head trainer to take the criticism when it doesn't work. And that's just the game, mate, isn't it? If we look at football, Ten Hag, he's taken an awful lot of Eric Ten Hag's taken an awful lot of criticism. Now I'm a big Manchester United fan. Do you think he's telling some of the players for lack of effort? No, absolutely not. But he's the manager, so the book lies with him. And that's probably the case right now. And it's up, you've got to take the highs and lows, listen, and probably that's, I'm sure Ben and the team there understand that.
Have you ever had a point in your active career where camp went completely brilliant, but you just haven't had it on the night?
Yeah, yeah, of course. And then whether that was down to opponent, I remember sort of, one of the Naris fights that was like that. It was.
So yeah, we just cut off there. But what I'd asked you beforehand was that were there any times in your own career where everything went swimmingly in camp, but then in the ring on the night it just wasn't there for whatever reason?
Yeah, yes, there was that came down obviously to a few things. I remember the last fight, like probably down to emotions, probably checked out mentally long before. But I remember one of Linares' fights, had a great camp, and opponent-wise, he chose to fight a bit different than expected. And that's it. But it wasn't through lack of training. I always think that. And it's even like it wasn't through lack of training. Then you've got to look at a few things. Does the fighters try and carry out the tactics that was set out and come up short? It's different. Or does the fighter not carry out the tactics? Then it's got to be looked at like that as well. Like for instance, with Rhiannon and Terri, done a few different things, but then Rhiannon would probably say as well, didn't throw some of the shots we'd worked on. So it works both ways, doesn't it? And I'm sure Anthony Joshua, Ben Davison and the team will probably be having the same thing. Like I say, I think you win together, start winning together, but you've got to lose together as well, haven't you?
Good stuff. Mate, enjoy the rest of your time in South Wales. Enjoy the fights tomorrow night as well. And
Yeah, no, I'm
let's
really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it. And it's just the fight. I think a lot of people looking forward to the cards. But I think it's a belter. Jack Rafferty, Henry Turner. I don't think can be helped but be a belter.
But I know you don't want to predict that fight until you've seen him
I
on the
thought
scales, so I won't
that's
pressure.
it. Yeah, we'll see. Okay
Yeah.
then, mate.
All right, mate. Take care. Speak soon.
See you in a bit. Bye bye,
Bye
mate.
bye.
Bye
Nice
bye.
one, Danny. Have a good one.